Right.
This is our last meeting in the season.
Sort of. There was a conversation after. We'll talk about it after. Right, we're not supposed to discuss. It's not on the agenda. Okay, here we go. I call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. And welcome. For the audience here tonight, the City of Glendora utilizes a hybrid meeting format to allow for participation both in person and virtually. In consideration of others and business conducted tonight, please silence your phones and any electronic devices and refrain from speaking unless recognized. Again, this is a public meeting for the community of Glendora. We appreciate and respect your participation here this evening. Madam Clerk, will you please conduct roll call?
Thank you, Chair. At this time, I will conduct an oral roll call, and request that each commissioner respond with the word present when their name is called. Commissioner Gerber,
Present.
Commissioner Burrell,
Present.
Vice Chair Kuyumjian,
Present.
Chair Louis Porcher.
Present.
Let the record show all 4 members are present.
Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to choose David Gerber to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, Commissioner Gerber. And reordering of and additions to the agenda. Does anyone wish to reorder or add to the agenda this evening? No? All right. Public comment. We'll open public comment period, the public comment period at this time. I now invite members of the public to address the Community Services Commission. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, speaking once, both on and off agenda items. All questions should be directed through the presiding officer. This is your time to speak uninterrupted. If you're in attendance, please fill out a speaker card and submit it to the recording admin before the close of the public comment period. Once recognized, speakers should advance to the podium, state your name and the subject matter you wish to discuss. If you're participating via Zoom, select the raise hand icon in Zoom before the close of the public comment period. Once recognized, you will receive a request to unmute, state your name, and the subject matter you wish to discuss. I invite those in attendance to speak. Are there any public comment cards?
I have received no public comment cards and there's nobody on Zoom.
Okay, well, thank you. At this time, we'll close public comment period. Commissioner statement reports. I invite each of the commission members to provide a statement report. And we'll go ahead and begin with Commissioner Burrell.
Okay, so my update on our homeless services is I talked with oh man, my mind's just blank. Debbie, thank you. I'm like picturing a different name, but yeah, Debbie Lopez. And about they got a new van, outreach van. If you've been to Finkbinder or at Kidpalooza, if you saw the big kind of tall Dodge, I guess, Sprinter type van, has a big wrap with the city logo and City of Glendora that they're using for outreach now. So that is the most up-to-date information there, that they got a cool new van.
Thank you. I will turn it over to Vice Chair Kuyumji, and then we'll go with David Gerber, Commissioner Gerber.
Great. Good evening. I have a report from the Glendora Trails Council. A presentation was made by the consultant for the South Hills Wilderness area, the conceptual trials plan, conceptual bike trails plan, and a discussion was had, and further discussions will continue. And then announcing the hikes for the summer. Summer hikes on Saturday mornings are June 24th at Big Dalton Canyon Trails. July 29th, South Hills Wilderness area, and August 26th at Little Dalton Canyon. And in the evening hikes started, the first one was this last Tuesday on the 13th. And the second one will be on July 11th at 7:30 p.m. at Little Dalton Canyon. And the last one for the summer will be August 8th at 7:15 PM at Big Dalton Canyon Trails. And then other housekeeping discussions were had, and that's all for my report.
Thank you. And Commissioner,
Thank you, Chair. I actually was not able to attend the last meeting down at the Youth Center or the Teen Center for the Youth Advisory Board. However, on our agenda, we do have a year review, so we should be able to get a full update as to what's going on there. I know that they have adjourned for the summer due to school being out. So I look forward to re-adjourning with them potentially come fall. And we'll leave it to their year review to hear more about all the fun things they're doing.
wonderful, and thank you for that. Regarding the La Fetra Center, this past month, we enjoyed the Older Americans Luncheon, which was really, really well put together. Lots of exciting energy in the room. The room was packed. I think there were over 100 older Americans that were in attendance, and I saw smiles on their faces. We enjoyed some music from the choir of older Americans, and that was a unique experience. So I'm very thankful to have participated in that along with some of our commissioners as well. The other thing that happened was a La Fetra picnic. I was not in attendance for it, but I do understand that it did happen, I think, and it was a success. And despite the weather, we've had some interesting weather. The other thing that I know that we'll talk about is the ribbon cutting. And I know that that'll come up later, and yeah, the pickleball courts. I think that's going to come up later, right? Maybe. Okay. Or no, we can talk about it now, apparently. So we had a ribbon cutting ceremony at Finkbeiner Park. Amazing. The pickleball courts look fantastic. We already had guests coming out. As soon as the ribbon was cut, they were playing a game, and the bathrooms have been refreshed and renewed. They look amazing. So I think that our summer guests of the park are going to be very thrilled. So wonderful job to the team for putting that together. And I will turn it over to the director, staff, liaison, and attorney statement. So I will call on Community Services Director John Aguirre to provide a statement and report.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Next slide, please. Want to give you a monthly update on the Louis Pompey project. The past few weeks, Ono Construction has been removing all the sprinklers, grinding all the grass and dirt into topsoil, and it is removed. They're waiting for their grading permit and should start grading on Monday. They'll grade field 1, 2, and 4 first till probably the end of July or June, and then July start on field 5, and then start pouring concrete after that. Next slide, please. You can go back to. So those are right there. All the piles that they did, they just bring in a street grinder and grind the grass and the topsoil, and then they had to haul that all away. Next slide, please. Kid Palooza was on Friday, June 2nd at Finkbeiner Park. It was a big success. This was our first Kid Palooza, and everyone there had a good time. We had rides, we had a band, we had a gaming truck, we had a climbing wall, food, and everybody, we had about 480 some tickets sold. Parents came with their chairs and listened to music and enjoyed the night. It was really nice. The La Fetra picnic was last Friday. The event was sold out with the Habit truck. And everyone, they had raffles, they had a little band, everyone had a good time. It was really nice. Camp Kahila, we have our day camp started this week. We run for 8 straight weeks. Our restrooms right now are out of order. So we have brought in portable restrooms on a trailer. And so those are up at the site. We did have a new shirt. Camp Kahila now is Dirt Camp. So they went with three different shirts. That's for staff is in orange this year. Campers get blue. And then the CITs are in yellow. And then each year it looks like they might change the colors. So they'll change the colors as they go along on that. But staff in them, the CITs and everyone are doing well. It's been cool up there, which isn't bad. And they'll go, the new thing also, we're back to busing Monday through Friday from the bus stop or bus on Mountain View. What do you call it? Transit Plaza on Mountain View. We did something new this year also. The week before day camp, we had a all get together with our staff and invited all participants and their parents to come in, learn about, or who's your counselors. Dick Sweeney was there and did a talk on all his bugs and what you see up there. It was 150 parents came out. It was huge. It was new. Our James brought that, and it was a big success there. Had a lot of questions about busing, about swimming on Fridays when we take them to the pool, and so a lot of that got answered. And that. Tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of the Timothy Daniel Crather Teen and Family Center. The event starts at 12 noon, and then we'll have lunch afterwards. They were sprucing up the place. It looks really nice. So we're excited about that for tomorrow. Another one, we have a ribbon cutting. Am I taking your fire? Am I taking your thunder? Ribbon cutting tomorrow for the Uptown Mita Avenue and the Bus Plaza / Village Plaza. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. You guys are all invited to meet Stephen up there on Mita, East Mita, to do that ribbon cutting up there. Concerts in the park. They will start Sunday, June 25th. We have Mallory will be doing the opening there for us. The concert is a Jimmy Buffett tribute, Buffett Beach. On your dais, you saw we have the magnet there for the concerts in the park and movies in the park. Movies start on Friday, July 7th with the Minions. We want to thank our sponsors for the concerts in the park, Glendora Kiwanis Club and Glendora Transportation, and for the movies in the park, Glendora Rotary. Also, the Glendora Rotary Field of Heroes will have its display at City Hall and Sunflower School, July 1st through the 5th. Opening ceremonies are here on site. It's in front of City Hall, Saturday, July 1st at 10 a.m. One thing we're also adding this year, we are bringing back our checkout stand to Finkbeiner Park in Gladstone. That will start Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. They'll have ping pong, carom games, balls, pickleball rackets, tennis rackets, and that where they can check it out and then return it to them. So that's something neat that council gave us the blessing to hire a few more, and we got to bring that program back. And that concludes all my report.
Thank you. I do have a question. What is needed to check out? What do you need to check out at anything? Nothing? Okay.
At Mita?
Oh, no, I mean at the Finkbeiner. So at the checkout. Finkbeiner.
Oh, well, I heard they don't need anything to check out the pickleball or the teen center only? Okay. We trust the kids on this side of town, I guess.
Oh, boy. At the park. I don't know. Maybe they have sensors or something. Okay. Leave a shoe. Oh, I don't know. That'd be hard.
As a
Uh,
7-year-old, you're like, oh man, they have my name.
Uh,
So you're really worried about that.
Okay, well, it's good to know. So, thank you for those updates and sharing that. I will be in attendance for tomorrow, the Teen Center celebration and the ribbon cutting at Mita. So hopefully I will see the rest of you there too. Moving forward with special items. I'd like to call on Community Services Director John Aguirre to report on the Shining Star second quarter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It gives me great pleasure. The Recreation and Human Services Department is proud for the Shining Star Award to go to Emily Bufanda. Emily began working for the city in 2018. She has been both a recreation aide and recreation leader and is currently the office aide at LaFetra Center. Over the years, Emily has been dependable, hardworking, resourceful member of the team. Her ability to adopt to any situation, her quick learning skills, and her positive inspires all of us at the LaFetra Center. When Cheryl Ryan left as the office aide, announced her retirement early in the year, Emily quickly stepped up to take on Cheryl's responsibilities. Emily now works with staff on our budget, does many of the administrative tasks in the office, and runs the entire LaFetra rental program. Emily gives her 100% every day, and she is incredibly deserving of this Shining Star Award. Congratulations. Want to say anything or?
Thank you for this opportunity. I am very blessed to have so many opportunities brought to me from the city of Glendora, and I am very grateful to continue to show the experience I've gained here and see the great work I'm going to continue to do for the city. So thank you. Oh, okay.
Miss Carol, does she think you should be in it too? Come on, girl.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do know. We're chairs.
Oh, yeah. No, you. Don't be afraid.
Thank you. Hard time good.
Thank you so much and congratulations. It's always a pleasure to be in the presence of people doing such wonderful things in our community. So thank you for that. Now to the consent calendar. Items on the consent calendar will be enacted by one motion without individual discussion unless the commissioner has requested it be removed for separate discussion. Does anyone wish to comment on item number 3? No. So I will request a motion.
I motion.
Seconded. Okay, so we have a motion made by Commissioner Burrow, seconded by Chair Louis Porcher. I will now open up so you guys can vote and conduct an oral roll call vote. Commissioner Burrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerber,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kuyumjian,
Yes.
Chair Louis Porcher.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
New business, Transportation Division update. I invite Transportation Manager Steve Mateer to report.
Great. Good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners. My name is Stephen Mateer. I'm the Transportation Manager for the City of Glendora. This is our quarterly update to the Commission. So the topics we'll discuss this evening are our Glendora Transit updates, the Mita Avenue and Bus Plaza project, which is finally completed, and updates to our People Movement project. And for those who may not be familiar, that's our build out of walking, biking trails and throughout the city. Looking at our ridership, from this year, ridership on the Gold Line's been pretty steady, just under 1 passenger per hour. That's not great, but it's not terrible. So that's something we'll be monitoring, especially as the Gold Line opens the next couple of years, as an opportunity to hopefully grow ridership there. The one dark spot in our ridership is the Metrolink, which, as you see, this doesn't even look at the last couple of years where ridership's really cratered on this route. So it's less than 1 person a day right now. So actually on Tuesday, council authorized us to cancel the Metrolink service. The opportunity out of that is that we will now be able to reallocate those service hours to a morning route serving the Glendora Unified School Districts. So we'll be looking to hopefully engage with the school to outreach to parents and marketing. And that will be ready to go for school starting in August. So that'll be a pilot to see how that goes. Council also authorized us to give us money to do a full-on transit study, which the city's never done before. So that'll help inform that as well. The bright spot for us is the midday and the dial-a-ride. Midday has pretty much entirely recovered from pre-COVID or to our pre-COVID ridership. So you can see we're at about 9 to 10 passengers per hour. On dial-a-ride, we typically are around 1 passenger per hour. So the fact that we're above that speaks to our outreach. I think it's also our new dispatching software has really helped us recapture and also grow the ridership there. On the capital side of our operation, we recently received our $140,000 from Metro to purchase 2 replacement dial-a-ride vans. That's the one you see on the top. As part of our transition to zero-emission buses, we did receive an additional $1 million from Metro to supplement our existing purchase of 4 electric buses. We recently executed an easement agreement with Edison, which was our last kind of administrative hurdle to get to final design and then to start construction sometime this summer. And that'll be again occurring at the former Parks Yard, and resulting in us moving all down there with our operation. So that bus you see there, that's Green Power. That is the first 2 buses we bought are that style. They're made in Porterville and their company is headquartered in Rancho Cucamonga. On to the other fun projects we have is Mita Avenue. For those who may not know, this project grew out of the outdoor dining we offered in the Glendora Village. So we created 2 new plazas and enhanced the existing bus or village plaza. The project is actually beyond substantially complete. We are done, which is great. So we'll be doing our ribbon cutting tomorrow at 6 p.m. So thank you, John, for providing that information. We mentioned the locker system that we have there. For those who have not seen it, we have 2 lockers on each side of Mita. What you do is you scan them with your phone. It takes you to an app. You put in your information, and that way we can track who's using it. And then if there's any lost or stolen items, we're able to charge a fee and recoup the cost of that. That also will allow us to see what games are being played and for how long. So there'll be a lot of great data collecting that. The vendor for that will be on hand Friday to help residents navigate that. So they're a startup company. I think they'll be a great model for parks management going forward. So the major project that our division works on is our People Movement Project. This is a $21 million, probably going to be higher with inflation, but it's 10 miles of various bike and pedestrian improvements throughout the city. We've secured $6.6 million from the SGV COG. We also received $5 million from Congresswoman Judy Chu in last year's budget appropriation. The city has committed $1.5 million of CIP funds as matching funds. Council directed us to work on phase 1 of this project, which includes completing the San Dimas Urban Trail, Little Dalton Urban Trail, Glendora Avenue, and Foothill Boulevard. First last mile projects. So next steps right now is to complete our funding agreement with the SGV COG. That will allow us to start design on Little Dalton, Glendora Avenue, and Foothill Boulevard. We have construction funds lined up for San Dimas Wash. We are now waiting on the permitting approval from LA County and Army Corps, which does take some time. And so we're looking to start construction in early spring of 2024. One other great project that council allocated is the Washington Elementary Crosswalk. We did a one-day demonstration during Walk to School Day last year in October. Based on the feedback we got, council wanted us to move towards full implementation. So what this will be are curb extensions and a mid-block refuge on Gladstone right in front of the elementary school, which will greatly enhance safety for students trying to cross the street there. We're anticipating completing design this summer and then starting construction hope probably during Christmas break, so we don't impact pickup drop off for the school. One of the other elements we work on to do outreach are our demonstration projects. So the current one is in the Glendora Village, which we know has caused a lot of discussion in the community. But I think it's important to emphasize that these are not final products. These are really an outreach tool. I like to say that, when we do traditional public workshops, we maybe get 10 to 12 people and we'd be very happy with that. With these projects, we were able to engage, surveys alone were over 450 people. That's a very effective outreach tool. They're also very easy to implement and they're low cost, so we can get the safety benefits almost immediately without waiting to go through a lengthy design and procurement process. It also allows us to see what works and what doesn't work in real time, and also to inform, should we go forward with future projects? That's what we know works in this situation. So with that, in the village at the two mid-block crossings, we implemented what you see on this diagram here, which are curb extensions that allows pedestrians to enter the street and be seen sooner by vehicles, also have a safe place to stand. The median island refuge offers a place to stand in case a car fails to yield in the crosswalk, which unfortunately is an issue at the two crosswalks in this village. We also tried to do landscaping to beautify a little bit, again, acknowledging that these are not the most attractive planters, but nonetheless, that was really a way to show that you can incorporate some aesthetic improvements here. So why did we do this project? One of the survey questions we've seen so far in the results is residents not thinking that this was needed. We noted on one day of Glendora Police Department doing a sting there were 6 violations within a 1-hour period, which you can extrapolate beyond that. That looks like there was routine damage to that sign that you see there in the middle. There is probably hit daily, weekly. That trades off with Public Works' ability to fill potholes and repair sidewalks. So if they have to come out and repair that sign, that's about a half a day gone that could have been spent doing other things. And lastly is the village character. The village is the only pedestrian district in the city. There's nowhere else that looks like this. So in this area, we want the pedestrian to be paramount. That is what we want to focus on in terms of safety and design. So as I mentioned, in the greater village area, there were 7 bike and pedestrian collisions. At these particular areas, there were 3 at the crosswalks. As I mentioned, between 2017 and 2022, there were 15 failure to yield citations. And I mentioned the damage to city property. So this is a little bit of a dated slide, but we did see, survey responses grow. And I will note, actually collecting more in-field survey responses as opposed to online generate a little more support actually for both the islands and the curb extensions. What we did see, which I thought was remarkable, is that more, and this is consistent when we did the demonstration bike lane, and every survey we've done, Glendorans will walk and bike more if we provide safe walking and biking facilities. So that was really great to see that. We did note that probably the single largest complaint beyond not needing this is just the fact that these demonstration projects do not look good, which we acknowledge. Again, that's not the point. It's not to look good, but that is something that we're mindful of when we go to design these projects. So we presented the business improvement district with 3 options. One was to just retain the curb extensions, but remove the mid-block refuge. Option 2 was to keep the project in its current form until council makes a decision on the future of the project, or 3, to recommend removal. The BID voted unanimously for option 2, with a slight change to the lane width in front of Nelson's bookstore, Nelson's drugstore. That was to widen it to be more consistent with the width of the street throughout. So that was something we'll carry forward to council on July 11th recommendation. So we're also welcoming feedback from this body if you would so choose. And with that, I can take any questions the commission has.
Okay. Oh, man. Okay. We'll start, we'll start with Commissioner Gerber.
As usual, thank you for the information. It's all very pertinent to what's going on, most specifically as we all are out and about in the summertime. My personal opinion is I'm downtown as often as I can be. We do walk down there, and I think I see more people out and about, as you said, walking when there's opportunity, especially when there's safety involved. So I think what you guys are definitely doing makes sense, and I hope that the city and the residents, most importantly, see it that way, so that we can continue to find these avenues to explore throughout the rest of the city, to help make things even more open for the community at large. So other than that, I don't have any questions. I think what you guys are doing is great. I look forward to the ribbon cutting tomorrow downtown, and just the other night, even with the gloom, it was very active in those two parklet areas. So I can only imagine once the sun decides to show itself what it will be like. So great job and very impressed. Thank you.
Commissioner Gerber did go, and now it's Commissioner Burrell.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so back from the top. You said that the city council designated funds for a transit study. Is that, would that be to, like, once the gold line's complete, to have like sort of a in-town bus, or Pasadena has their local, like, is that the future ideal? To
Yeah, I
have
think
more?
that's one of the questions we'll ask is, what does our service look like with the Gold Line?
Yeah.
Here, we have very limited operating dollars. And so, I think the first question would be is how do we maximize that? And then second question would be, now that we have this, asset here with the Gold Line, or now actually it's our Metro A line. Tomorrow, I forgot to mention, tomorrow it's going to the A line because of the regional connector project. So now you'll be able to ride all the way to Long Beach without changing trains. Or one transfer to go to like Science Center and Natural History Museum. Sorry, a little bit of a
Oh,
side,
yeah, that's.
but I'm sorry. And
USC.
I'm a Bruin, so I'd
When they
skip,
play
I'd
each
skip
other.
that
That's
station.
right.
Sorry.
Well, you
yeah.
could also take it and go to the Rose Bowl.
Right. And so, the idea would be is, with that asset, would council want to see additional expanded service? So I think those are questions that we would ask.
With the lock, so the kids and I were walking to music lessons the other day, and so we checked out all of the things in the village, and with the locker system, I noticed some moms on a little play group calling because it wasn't working, and I was
Yes.
just wondering, who does that go to, the startup company, or does that go to someone here?
That goes to the company.
Oh,
So they're
okay.
very responsive.
Okay.
And I know they've checked in with us to let us know they've been able to troubleshoot
Okay.
a lot of the issues that have come up.
Yeah, there was a lot of like, why I was like, well, I think it's new, so maybe give it some time. I was
Yeah,
trying to
there are
like
some things
calm them
dying now.
down,
Yeah.
but okay.
And it's certainly a new arrangement.
Yeah,
right?
I
This
wasn't
is not-
sure
yeah.
who the call went to, so that's good to know. But it looks fantastic. It's super fun. And like let's see, it's Tuesday at 3:00, and there was like 6 people sitting underneath the balloons, and then like easily 10 to 15 people on each side of Mita, like at 3:00. It was really incredible how much it was already getting used. And it looks fantastic. The first and last mile things you mentioned, how Glendora Avenue and Foothill were going to be like priorities. Did that design, when we did this sort of trial last year or 2 years ago with the protected bike lanes and the turning lanes, was that like approved then, or is it like starting over with that design, or is that like the design that kind of going to move forward?
So it'll be so on Glendora Avenue, it'll be a raised protected bike lane. That was
Okay.
we really did the demonstration project to give people an opportunity during COVID to be outdoors.
Mhm.
Second of all was to see, was there actually a traffic impact? When we reduce roadway capacity for vehicles, there is a concern for traffic, both Foothill and Glendora Avenue in those sections. Glendora Avenue in particular is not very congested. Foothill can be at certain times, but not always. So it was really more to understand the traffic impact
Okay.
of that. The final design will look more like what we have in those renderings where it's raised up. Foothill will be not a raised bike lane, but it will have protection
Oh, okay.
to it.
That's nice. So obviously the cranky people driving are the ones that are filling out the survey. So good for you guys for getting people walking, because anyone walking, like now I feel like we can park on the other side of the village and walk across because it's much safer than trying to find parking on the side you're going to, which I think is great for both the businesses as well. And we have a lot more parking on one side than the other. So I was curious about the feedback from the business improvement district. They wanted to leave it, but did they feel like it's good for their business? Or, because I know that generally like there's a lot of cranky people about the lack of parking, and it's like, well, this isn't for you. This isn't for driving. This is for like experiential things. And the businesses liked the parklets and the outdoor dining. So I was just wondering if it was kind of the same thing with the sidewalks and the.
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I think there was broad recognition that, you know, while people might drive to the village, everyone winds up walking in the village. So having it be safe to cross the street at various points was very important for circulation. So there was recognition of that. I know there was concern about the lane widths for parades that happen. The Nelson, that one lane by Nelson is unfortunately much narrower than the others. The others are about 17 feet wide, which is pretty wide for a lane. So I think if we make that adjustment there, I think that would eliminate some of that potential conflict. We've also been attempting to meet with the school district to look at the street to make sure how the parade would fit in the street. So yeah, their only really recommendation was
Gotta make
to
sure
just
the
adjust that.
parade
Yeah.
works.
And I will say, you know, I think there are some concerns too about the restrictions on turning movements out of there. So I think that'll something we will look at is we probably went a little bit further than we needed to with restriction to turning. And that was mostly just due to people hitting the bollards repeatedly. And so we wanted to reduce people pulling out really quickly and causing collisions. So, I mean, luckily we've seen a drastic reduction in the number of people hitting the bollards as well as other collisions, but I understand the frustration with the lack of turning.
Yeah. It was that, okay, so are you allowed to turn? Now I'm wondering if I'm
Mhm.
causing the problem. If you're going north on Glendora Avenue, are you allowed to turn into that parking lot at the Village Vault, or are you not supposed to turn into that?
You're
from
not
that side?
Taylor Swift in this situation. You're not the problem.
Okay.
No, you are allowed to do that. We
Okay,
actually,
I was like,
yeah.
I can see cars
I
through that
got you,
spot.
Megan.
Okay,
I got you.
thank you.
Yeah, and that was actually, and that's one of the like I would say is like the power of demonstration projects is we originally were not going to let you turn into that
Oh, okay.
because of so many strikes to but then when I talked to the restaurant owner, it was very clear that we needed to allow that. And we were able to make that in the field, like right then and there.
Well, I mean,
which-
I think it's
yeah.
so fantastic. Like everyone drives so much slower. Like we'll walk down there and stuff, but like I drive my daughter down there all the time to drop her off. And like people generally with these additions over the last few months are driving so much slower.
Yeah.
Which like don't drive up Glendora Avenue if you're in a hurry. So I feel like that shouldn't be a problem. Anyone who complains about that, go a different way. There's like a million streets that go north south. But I think it's fantastic. And I think it makes it so much safer and actually like looks similar to like the parklets. Like the parklets brought everything out. So then to have the crosswalks be out also, it seems more uniform. Yeah. Even with the like, you know, temporary things, I think it looks better than when it was just, you know, people poking their head out behind a car to see if they could cross. But anyway, okay, I think that's all I have. 2 thumbs up. Love it. Stick with it. Drive slower.
Right. Thanks, Stephen. Couple questions. The school transportation idea or proposal or whatever it is, how would that work? Like how in scope, how was like what spots or like from A to, you know, like what point, or do kids go to a certain area or?
I think that's a great point. I mean, I think now that council gave us that direction, our contractor and us will meet to figure out the exact route. I'm envisioning something similar to the red route for the midday, which stays kind of between Goddard, Sandburg High School, and it goes down Foothill. Council did note that, you know, there are obviously other areas of the city. But I want to say this is a pilot, so we're really going to just try to see, is the market actually there? And the reason why we thought about this is that the number one recommendation or suggestion we get is to have a morning route for the schools. So we really want to see, is there actually even a market there for that? And, you know, obviously,
Would you do a survey?
yeah, we do an onboard survey or a customer survey every year. And also just parents just call us and say, hey, you know,
Yeah.
how do I get my kid to the school? And
Yeah.
that's we always say we can't because we don't have that ability, but we will see if we can now. Picking up after school is much easier because it's very concentrated.
Right.
Morning's different because it's much more diffuse. And
Yeah.
so it might be something where we utilize the parking plaza as a pickup. Parents can drop off there.
Right.
That might not be very popular with those neighbors that don't have that traffic right now. So we might have to think a little bit about, maybe City Hall, because no one cares what happens. at City Hall. So, yeah.
Now, they wouldn't pick up at every metro site.
Well,
Every-
and that's, that would, our policy is that any Foothill Transit stop is a stop for us as
Stop,
well.
okay.
So that would
Alright.
happen too, but I know parents do like to drop their kids off at a central location
Yeah.
if they're trying to get to work or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah.
So if they don't want their kid waiting at a bus stop. Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. All right. And then the electric buses,
Mhm.
you said we've purchased 2. And when, delivery would be when?
October.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Fingers
Oh,
crossed.
yeah.
This is our like third or fourth time trying to get a bus. So
Uh-huh.
yes, October is what I'm hoping for.
And the 2 additional is just funded at this point?
Funded. Yeah, we would need to go out and do a
The whole-
procurement.
yeah.
Mhm.
All right. And then, Christmas tree.
Mhm.
So with the balloon, with the plaza, how would that work? Would that
so,
come down or?
Yeah, that
okay.
exactly. Yeah, the balloons were never intended to be a permanent fixture. That
okay.
was that was going to come down regardless for the tree lighting.
Mhm.
Best case scenario is these last through the summer, and then we can have a discussion about what a subsequent design looks like, whether it's permanent or we keep a rotating art.
Right.
The other option we've explored as a like kind of a quick gap fill in case let's say tomorrow the balloons just all deflate, right? Is around July 4th, do a kind of patriotic themed one for the rest of the summer. It would come down again, and then we would figure out what knowing the balloons may or may not
Colors,
work,
yeah.
colors, all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Yes.
Great. All right, well, thank you. That's all I had.
Saving the best question for last, more of a comment, kind of a self-identified data, whatever you want to call it, nerd geek, I don't know what's allowable. But I was thinking about the numbers of ridership,
Mm.
and I couldn't help but to think about the weather pattern and
Mhm.
how it affects anyone wanting to ride anything outside for recreation or what have you. So I just hope that you, and I'm sure you guys did take into account those kind of situations that may have affected ridership. Just
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. And on that note, I forgot to mention it, but we did install 2 brand new bus shelters with lighting, trash, and real-time arrival signs at Glendora and Route 66. It's kind of a low-key thing,
Yeah,
but
it's
if you
there.
ever drive by or want to catch the 188, it's kind of cool. But yeah, no, the weather plays a factor. I think especially with the commuter shuttles, we know the working from home has really just universally dented ridership. We're at the tail end of the gold line, and as long as there's parking spaces at the APU Citrus Station, we're not going to have high ridership on our buses. So that you're right. The weather obviously and holidays plays a
Yeah,
factor in ridership.
holidays
Yeah.
too. Go for it. The other thing was single lanes. How have those been going with the change underneath the train route or the development? Let's call it the corner of Grand and Foothill.
We haven't started on that yet, so
No,
that'll be
right?
something we explore through the
Okay.
design process. That would be looking at like traffic
Yeah.
impact. Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
awesome. You are free from the hot seat because these two, I mean, I try, but thank you
You're
very much. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
So new business, we've already covered that.
All right, we have to do a motion to
Yep, so
receive
we're
and
gonna
file.
go ahead and request a motion, please,
To receive and file.
to receive and file.
We have a motion made by Commissioner Gerber, seconded by Vice Chair Kayumjian. I will open up for the vote and conduct an oral roll call vote. Commissioner Burrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerber,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kayumjian,
Yes.
Chair Louis Borche,
Yes.
motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. And Youth Advisory Board Year Review. I invite Recreation Supervisor Ramiro Valderrama to report. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the Community Service Commission. I'm pleased to present on the Teens for Glendora 2022 2023 accomplishments. So real quick, a little backstory. This year we decided to rebrand our teen program and really refocus our mission statement. So really, you'll find this in all of our writings, but our ultimate goal is to inspire all Glendora youth to become active community participants. And that's what we're trying to do. We did rebrand. If you haven't seen our shirts or if you've been at our events, you've seen them in these shirts. They do have to participate, fill out paperwork. Parents have to sign off on it, and they do have to show some level of commitment before they actually earn these shirts. These shirts aren't just given out, they're actually earned. So anyone you do see wearing these shirts, they have definitely put in the time and are active members. So. All right, here we go. So this is just a little overview of what we're gonna be going over. As you can see, our new logo, Teens for Glendora. We wanted it to be bright, pop. So when you see them walking around, really fun logo, kind of get like Saved by the Bell vibes from it, but hopefully everyone likes it. The kids really embraced it. I think it really does show in the black shirts. So. All right, members. Teens for Glendora have 14 active members who attend monthly meetings at the Teen Center. Our teens have volunteered and have done over 200 hours throughout all of our programs and events throughout this past year. We also did have 2 of our Teens for Glendora members this past year receive the Youth Award of Coordinating Council, Pearl Hall and Mary McKelly. So that's a great honor that they received. Events. Teens for Glendora have volunteered in multiple events and programs throughout this year. They volunteered at our youth basketball program where they had a snack bar at the teen center. And they also did volunteer at Goddard and Sandburg where they were helping with substitutions, kind of keeping score, and other just eyes with the staff to help them just, if they have to go to the restroom, they can help out. And we really do look at our teens as, extension of staff members. You also saw them at the Pumpkin Festival, Halloween Carnival, Trails Day, Earth Day, Easter egg hunt, Kid Palooza, and they are at the teen center all the time and obviously are always helping out with staff in the rooms and just being around, being seen. Meetings are held at the Crowder Teen and Family Center at 3 p.m. every last Thursday of the month. We do have a board. They meet every first Thursday of the month where they talk about the agenda. They actually came up with the board on their own where they put their own requirements where it's a 3.0 GPA is minimum to be on the board. Anyone could be a part of Teens for Glendora, but to be a board member, you do need a 3.0. You have to do a presentation on the position you want to hold. And so I believe we do have a president, vice president, secretary. We have about 2 members at large, but they're slowly, this is the foundation. This is us building. That's what this year was really focused on, was building, setting up for the future of Teens for Glendora. All right. Upcoming goals. Recruiting new members is a big goal of theirs. Alex Rayella is one of our recreation leaders who works out of the teen center. He is really the one who is really hands-on with these teens and is always, communication with them. So he is, he's actually got invited to speak at AVID class in the fall of next year. They've also talked about posting, he's actually sent a flyer to Glendora Unified School District. So the Teens for Glendora's flyer could be posted on their website. And really word of mouth. I think that's the biggest thing is if our teens are enjoying themselves, getting a lot out of it, word of mouth, that's how we are going to get other teens to participate in our program. Teens will start running a snack bar this summer at the teen center starting on Monday, They'll be doing that daily from 12 to 3 p.m. So they've met about that. They are really committed to really just being engaged with the kids at the teen center. They also are looking to do a food drive at the end of this month, June 26th through June 21st. They're looking at the teen center, American Legion building, and possibly here at the community services building to have donations. Donations will be given to a local food bank that they are working on, who they would like to donate to. Teens will be participating in leadership trainings run by the NCADD, National Council of Alcoholism and Drug Dependence. I had a meeting with them last week, and they are going to hold a 3-day mini session training at our teen center. So our teens are going to participate and be able to really kind of get some knowledge out of that. And we are also, they are also going to take part in an inclusive training held by Costa Colina. That's really cool. Well, I've met with them as well. They are going to have wheelchairs, basketball, pickleball, tennis. So they're going to have a training next month. So our teens are allowed to participate in that and really kind of get to learn a little bit about that. Also, part of our program is we want our teens to really grow. So we're helping them create resumes. A lot of them are going into high school. So how create resumes, go do interview prep, and that will all be run by our Teens for Glendora staff. And then lastly, we are looking to install a new board in August. So even though we are dark, the active members are still going to be at the center. We will let you know if we have any sort of meetings, but they are looking to do presentations in August so we can really install a new board in September. And lastly, we do have 3 trips coming up this summer out of the teen center. We are going to Magic Mountain July 12th. That is $50. That includes ticket and the bus ride there and back. Wild Rivers on July 26th, $50, same thing. And then beach bonfire August 4th. That is a $15 trip. Lunch will be provided, and we'll be doing s'mores. All trips leave from the teen center and we'll drop off at the teen center. And that's it. Anyone have any questions?
No, thank you. This is really inviting. I like the colors. I like the colors for Dirt Camp too. So great job.
I was just, I would very much enjoy having the kids come to one of our meetings, maybe the board when it gets reintroduced in September, just to recognize and let them know that what they are doing is very valuable, not only for the community, for themselves, for their future, and just put them in front of other people to show that what they're doing makes sense and recognize them for that. So if that's something that you guys can put together, I think it would be very advantageous to have them come. I'm being down there and going to those meetings, I'm very impressed with what they are doing, including your staff and how engaging they are with those kids. It makes all the difference in the world. When you don't have that engagement, it's hard to make it viable, right? And to grow it. So kudos to you and your staff for what you guys are doing. And I just hope that we can continue to grow it, because I think it makes, it's the one aspect I think in this town that we are not as fluent in. We are very fluent in our seniors and in our youth. So however we can continue to grow that and grow the popularity down at the teen center, and with all the changes up in Finkbeiner and whatnot, I think it's great. So continued success with that.
Appreciate it.
David took my thought. No, I'm just kidding. But the same is these teens sound so impressive, and I would also love the opportunity for us to I guess, tell them in person that like, hey, adults are paying attention and we think what you're doing is really important. And we see how hard you're working to get other people to do it, because I know that that's got to be challenging, especially as a young age and when you're so passionate about something and feeling like, gosh, how can we reach more people? But just the opportunity to tell them like, hey, we see you and we want to support you, and we know how hard that is, and see the work that you've done just in, I know David and I, in the 4 years we've been on the commission, how far this program's come is really impressive, especially with COVID kind of in the middle there. So well done. And the shirts look cool.
Yeah, I echo everybody's comments as well, and thanks for the presentation. Quick, is there a number, a limit to the amount of members you could have, or is it
Oh,
just, how many, what's the count right now?
We're at 14.
Okay.
We've gone up to 20 members at a meeting.
Uh-huh.
But 14 active, that have the shirts
Alright.
that are at our events. Kid Palooza, if you actually,
Yeah.
if you did show up, they were a vital part of it, helping with with the rides, and they're just an extension of our staff, and we're a small group, but we get a lot done, and we really rely on them to help us with our events and our programs.
And then one quick question, last question is food drive. You said June, when was it? June 26th?
June 26th is when they're planning on, they're gonna,
Is it one day or?
no, it's gonna be June 26th through July 21st.
Oh.
We're looking for about 4 weeks.
All right, cool. Great. Well,
It's
thank you.
something that they've come up with, and we let them know that our group the program's only gonna go as far as they what effort they put in. We're there to help them and if they have any questions and help guide them, but they're gonna be the ones they're gonna get the most out of it. So, and that's all we want to do, is provide them with all the opportunity to grow and help them in whatever they do. So I know a lot of our members are 8th graders going to high school. So
Okay.
I know they've talked about eventually getting more college prep, learning about, FAFSA, filling out paperwork. So that's what we want to do, is provide them all those resources.
And mostly it's what, 6th, 7th, 8th grade?
No, it's 6th through 12th grade. We accept them all.
Alright.
So our president is going into her junior year right now.
Well, thank you.
Yep.
Awesome. I think we all want shirts, so if you have some, we'll take them. What? I have the hours. All right, so we will request a motion at this time.
I move for motion. I forget what we should say.
We have a motion by Commissioner Burrow, seconded by Vice Chair Kuyumjian. I will open up so you guys can do the vote. I'll conduct an roll call vote. Commissioner Burrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerber,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kuyumjian,
Yes.
Chair Louis Barche.
Yes,
Motion carries 4-0.
wonderful. Recreation Summer Special Events. I'd like to invite up the Recreation Superintendent, Annie Warner, to report, please.
Evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners. I'm here on behalf of James Lara this evening. Director John Aguirre pretty much gave his entire report. I'm happy to scroll through the PowerPoint. We kicked off summer on June 2nd with our Kid Palooza event. I know I saw a couple, Steve and Mallory, I saw there. It was well attended, as John mentioned. We have the carousel, we have the slides, the large fiberglass slide and the swings, as well as gaming truck, face painting, a live band that we thought was going to take down the stage. They had like 20 participants from the Citrus College band, but they were great. Parents did as they were told and brought their blankets and chairs and sat down and enjoyed the somewhat nice weather while their kids were able to play. So we actually got our final numbers, and they are higher than the 424 that we thought we had. So as John said, it was about 480-ish, I want to say, that we sold for wristbands. So our goal was 500. So we'll see where we are at next year, and hopefully as the word spreads. But we did enjoy having it on the last Friday as school got out. It was kind of a nice end of school year party. Ooh, I think I went. Did I go back? No, I didn't. Sorry. Concerts in the park are coming up June 25th, as he mentioned. We also will be having a gentleman with live parrots. So of all of you who are Jimmy Buffett fans and Parrot Head fans, there will be a photo op to take pictures with live parrots. And we have various bands throughout the summer. Some key ones that I would want to highlight are the Air Force 562nd Air Force Band will be coming on July 2nd for a patriotic evening. And then we will also be having Glendora High School's band and pageantry bagpipes. They will be heading off to Scotland. They were supposed to go in 2020 and that got canceled. So they will be leaving in August of this summer. And so they will be doing a fundraiser at our event. So those will be two very exciting concerts. We'll also have our Movies in the Park in partnership with the Rotary Club. They'll be starting on July 7th. With the extra funding that council has provided, we have increased the early hour activities that will be offered to the youth. And our last movie in the park will be in partnership with the Glendora Police Department. And it will be Zootopia, and they will have all of their fun police vehicles. Hopefully the dog will be out there showing the canine tricks that it does. And that's for their national night out. Dirt Camp did start this week. It's pretty much full every week. We did do an upgrade on the t-shirts, or actually a name change. They've been well received. So that's been exciting. The pickleball courts are up and running at Finkbeiner Park. We have received a lot of community input regarding the fact that there is not a middle line. It was removed. It looks like we will have to bore new holes and put more of a permanent chain link fence since the courts were shifted. And so the existing tennis court that was there wouldn't align anyway with the 4 pickleball courts. But we have been notified numerous times. So it is something that we have put in with Public Works. Also in July is Parks and Recreation Month. The theme is Where Community Grows. That's the National Parks and Recreation Society. And we think that's obviously a great theme to have. And one of our goals in our strategic plan is being more community and engaged with the community. We are anticipating doing some activities in July, so more to come on that. And that concludes my report. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
I'll just say fantastic. One of my favorite parts of the updates, hearing all of the events happening. So cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Me next. Okay. Well, congratulations to everyone's hard work on the 2 pickleball courts, because I know that there's like every time we go to one of these ribbon cuttings, there's so much additional thought and to put into like the cookies and the swag and the balloons and all of that. And it looks so fantastic. And it's such a great way to celebrate all of those improvements. Kidpalooza was amazing. It was the highlight of the end of the school year for the like elementary set. It was so much fun. The band was amazing. The like whole vibe was amazing. And the fact that it was $15, most people could walk, like it was just so incredible. And I feel like it's going to keep growing and growing and growing because it was such a fun evening. Yeah, I've heard lots of really great things about Dirt Camp Parent Night. Everyone really, really appreciated that. I think because like so many kids now are fully back into their activities after COVID. And yeah, every parent that I know who old and new came and thought it was really great. And the kids loved seeing each other and comparing who's going what week and all of that fun stuff, and which counselors are still the same. It was a big deal. And how they're going to separate into their groups and all the fun stuff. But yeah, so all of these things are so exciting. And just as a side note, the branding is so awesome and like really like great.
Megan Stone made the magnet.
It's great. Everything, like all of the little things, the book, the logo for Kidpalooza, like all of this stuff is so like just really nice and appealing and classy looking. And like, it looks like something you want to attend. It doesn't look like, you know, government stuff where it's kind of like bland, you know, like it was PowerPoint. No, I'm just kidding. It's really exciting. And I feel like it really, you know, makes people want to go and it just like denotes like it's going to be a quality thing. Cause look at this nice magnet. So extra kudos to that.
Thank you for your report. No comment.
I have just a couple questions. The money that you raised for Kid Palooza, obviously it pays for everything that you do there. Do you make any return on
No, it does
investment?
not pay for
It
everything,
doesn't,
no.
not at all.
That
Okay,
was
so
not
you're
the
keeping the
goal.
cost to a number that is affordable and eating the balance. Okay.
Correct.
Just wanted to kind of be sure about that. And then, scholarships for Camp Kahila, have you had many requests?
James did a great job reaching out with the school district, meeting with all the principals. We attended the symposium they had for young adults, the school district offered. We didn't get the best turnout for Glendora residents at that event. They were mainly Charter Oak Unified that did not live in Glendora. The Glendora Coordinating Council they have a large pot of money and they're trying to get people. I think last year we had 15. I think he's up to 28 and has a couple more that have called to do it. Ideally, we could offer 80. We hold back 10 per week. So we are happy. We'll probably get about 30, I guess, camperships. That's all we've received thus far. But then they also, Glendora Coordinating Council extended that and said it doesn't have to just be for dirt camp. It could be for a Lego camp and they will pay for the entire thing. It could be for the make-believe camp or the princess camp. So then he was able to utilize some funds for people.
So you do have sufficient funding
There
to
is
support that?
Too much funding.
Okay,
And they're trying to spend, we were dwindling it down and then somebody just left another large donation, which is
That's-
great for them. It's a great problem to have.
yeah.
So
That's
in response
awesome.
to what you had mentioned about the team programming, back in the early 2000s, we opened the teen center. We were able to go to Magic Mountain for $25, right? Things were cheaper, inflation, because they still need to bring spending money. That was easy for a family to do that. Things are tighter. We used to take, 150 kids, 140 kids to Not Scary Farm. We're like, fingers crossed, we're taking 50. So we might approach some funding sources to see if we can offset the cost of the buses Stephen is no longer here. The buses are covered through bus funding. So that is taken care of, but the price of trips is increasing and then the kids eat there. They have to, they can't, and you're not allowed to bring in food and water. So they have to spend money. So that's an expensive day for a family to just give $150 or whatever they're going to go. So we would like to look at how we can offset those to encourage the team participation to go on trips to increase again.
So 3 words, Community Service Foundation,
Correct.
request.
Yes.
Send your requests so that we can definitely see where we can help. That's where I was going, but
Mhm.
with all of that. So that's great. And then what's the water situation up at Camp Kahila these days?
Great.
And safety wise, is there any concerns and issues with how is it? I mean,
There were some concerns at spring break and we went over it with staff that they were not to go in the water. It was a pretty rapid
mhm.
flow. There was one child who did choose to get close and we did have to grab them out because they were going to go, they were fine, but
Right.
we did not want them in there. So it's much better
Okay.
this summer. They are out. It's not nearly what it was in April. So they are going down to the water. They can get their feet in if they choose, but they
Well,
are not supposed to be collecting the salamanders. I know that's a long time tradition, but that they have been educated that they're supposed to stay there. They're
No, it's
protected.
great to see. I mean, it's been a dry
Been
bed
dry. It's much
for-
more fun when there's water.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, that's great. It's good to see all of the fun events and the coordination that you guys have been doing. So, continued success. Thank you.
Well, I'd like to move forward with the motion to file the report.
I'll motion.
Perfect. So we have a motion made by Commissioner Gerber, seconded by Chair Louis Porche. I will open up for the vote. Commissioner Burrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerber,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kuyumjian,
Yes.
Chair Louis Porche.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Trails update and budget report. I invite again Recreation Superintendent Annie Warner to report.
Perfect. Happy to report on the trails budget report. Again, Recreation Supervisor James Lara is been the new liaison. It used to be Danielle Smith, our management analyst, and James is filling that role and working along Commissioner Kamujian on the monthly meetings that they attend. Some back history, the Big Dalton Canyon Wilderness Area and the South Hills Wilderness Area both sit within city limits. The area consists of approximately 1,200 acres of open space and contains 28 wilderness trails for both hiking and multi-use purposes. The trails are of varying difficulties. The trails are maintained by both the city and the Trails Committee. The Trails Committee holds several different events in an effort to bring awareness to the local trail system. These events include taking part in some city-sponsored events, community hikes led by the committee, and trails maintenance events. Community hikes are led throughout the year in 4 different wilderness areas, and the groups volunteer to clean up and do some maintenance work on trails in the South Hills and Big Dalton Wilderness twice a year. The purpose of this report is to provide the Community Services Commission with the final Trails Committee budget and expenditures for fiscal year 22-23, as well as an update on the upcoming activities of the Trails Committee. I believe attached is or you should have been able to receive the 22-23 budget and the breakdown. They were allocated for this year 27,500. They do have a pending repair, which is the flagpole at Rowley Wilderness Park of $777 that will exceed their allotted budget, and the Parks Department will absorb that extra. For the new fiscal year of 23-24, they will be reallocated the same amount of 27,500. The committee meets monthly to assess what is needed. I know this past year they purchased new barbecues. It went into the Rowley Center kiosk is the word. Thank you. And at various trailheads maintenance works and things like that. So they can decide what they feel is important. They're a vital part of our wilderness. They do an incredible amount of work that I don't know if they didn't do it, like who would do it. So we are very grateful for them. They do offer the summer hikes. We hope people attend. And they also, like I said, do 2 cleanups that were very well attended. This past one was held in April at South Hills Wilderness Park. South Hills. And we had about 90. I was surprised at the turnout. It was really well attended. And then they'll be doing another one in the fall for Big Dalton area. That completes my report. And look, do you have any questions?
Madam Chair, one quick thing, their budget will be moved into the Recreation and Human Services. We will oversee that budget and it will be reallocated into ours and not into Parks. Since James is the liaison, it's easier for him, who does the talking with the committee, to work on that and the budget. We will still be included with the parks to see what we might need to bring to the Trails Committee. But that's one of the things that's easier for us to oversee that money since we're their liaison and have more contact with them.
Okay. May I?
Mhm.
Just to follow up on that, so is it in Parks right now?
It's
The
always
budget?
been in Parks.
Okay.
Because they were always with us in
Right.
Community Services. Once that moved, it was James would come back for the meeting.
And then go
So
to,
Parks, when
and then
Parks
Parks.
moved,
Parks moved in.
Danielle used to be in Parks. Danielle originally
Right.
was employed in the Parks Division. And then she moved over to be an admin here and the
And-
entire department, and then Parks separated from our department and she was still the liaison.
Okay,
So it kind of,
yeah,
and then now that she left and James is filling that spot, it made more sense to have the funds move
back.
into our department.
Yeah, I have to say, it's great to see council support the committee especially with the budget, this budget, and then they renewed it for next year. I mean, it gave them them the opportunity, you know, with the rain this year, the overgrowth and all the trails were out of control. So they were able to utilize maintenance crew to go up there and clean it up. So yeah, it was great.
We were there on Saturday, this past Saturday, with a partnership with the Daughters of the American Revolution and a Boy Scout group for a flag ceremony. When they showed up around 7:30 in the morning to set up, there was close to 100 people already getting ready to go hiking in that area. And they were set up for an event and they didn't realize we already had a permit to be there. And they graciously kind of moved away. But it's shocking to see, we were there from 7:30 in the morning till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, how many people are frequently the trails and going up there. And so it's nice to see that it's being used as much as it is.
And especially with the new concept for down here with the bike trails, that's gonna be awesome.
Mhm.
Thank you.
I don't have any comments other than, again, great job. Okay, thank you. So I would like to request to file the report and requesting a motion.
I motion.
So we have a motion made by Commissioner Burrow, seconded by Vice Chair Kayumjian. I will now open up for an oral roll call vote. Commissioner Burrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerber,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kayumjian,
Yes.
Chair Louis Porche,
Yes.
motion carries 4-0.
You. All right, commission staff closing comments. I will speak last and I will turn it over to Commissioner Gerber to start.
Thank you. Again, nothing but praise for all that you guys do for this town that a lot of us know, very few unfortunately don't know, and they find their way to you guys for the negative versus the positive. I can't thank you guys enough for fielding all of that and continuing on in a manner of pushing forward, because what you do for the city really makes the city what it is, and it makes it enjoyable for the residents and the community at large. So all the events that happen that you put on, that you are always constantly raising the bar to think forward for what the community would enjoy based on where we are in today's world, is just, it's perfect. You think outside the box, you don't keep yourselves inside, and you push forward for more and more things. So keep up all the good work, and I look forward to all the fun things that we're seeing in the summer coming about, and then all the activities that we are doing with Finkbeiner renovation, Louis Pompey renovation, and many more things to come. So again, thank you all for all your dedication and hard work. It doesn't go unnoticed.
Yeah, I echo David's sentiments. Everything we've been busy. I feel like we've multiple things a week now, which is really exciting to see, things that we talked about that were in the phases of we're going to ask council for money for this are now getting completed, which is really, really exciting. Yeah, and a big thank you to everyone working hard on getting busing back for Dirt Camp. That's very exciting. It buys me an extra hour each day because it was a good 30 minutes round trip to wait in the drop-off line and then to go back up and pick up line and remember the last names of the kids you're picking up and what time you're supposed to be there and all that. So yeah, thank you for the hard work on that and finding the money for it, because I know it would be a lot easier to just say, nope, parents keep sending your kids and we'll just save that money for something else. So that's much appreciated.
Great. Yeah, thank you for all the reports. It's been very informative tonight and exciting to hear what the city's been doing and putting the dollars into action. From the, many decisions that they've made in the past few years. And Romero, great job with the teens for Glendora. Excited to see that actually. So I'm excited to talk to you more about that, because I've got some teens and need to get them involved. So no, again, thank you. And we'll see most everybody tomorrow in downtown. And I was talking about the ribbon cutting. Oh, yeah, I'm going to that. Yeah, I'll go to that, and then Yeah, so it's all day, that's right. Yes, yeah, yeah. So, and yeah, thank you, and we'll see everybody tomorrow all day. And, have a great month. See you next time.
And as a closing comment for today, I just want to say thank you to my fellow commissioners for entrusting me with this role and responsibility of being the chair of this amazing group of individuals. This was a first experience, but I came under great leadership that helped to guide this process. I am so deeply going to miss sitting in this chair. And I think I might ask for more time. No. But thank you all for, again, for sharing all of these wonderful updates. We are immediately, we're immediate recipients of the work that's being done. There's another way of saying that, but we are your constituents, and we do benefit greatly from these different events. And so, yes, I have teens coming up, and they will be wearing those T4G shirts. That's awesome. But yeah, again, I'm really excited for our new oncoming commissioner to join us. Welcome. We see you. We're thankful for you for being here. And yeah, I'm gonna miss it. I'm just kidding. Signing off, and we will adjourn the meeting at not yet.
I have no.
I
No
take it back. Sorry. Yes, final.
I have no reports.
Okay, nothing to say. Not how amazing I've been. Nothing. Okay. Okay, so we will adjourn the meeting at 8:21. Thank you.